Welcome to the Alpha Male 2.0 podcast. I am Caleb Jones. This is where we talk about dating multiple attractive women without any cheating or drama or problems. Location-dependent income, the freest lifestyle a man can possibly live in the modern era, Alpha Male 2.0. And I have another podcast called the Sovereign CEO Podcast, where we cover all the business and Five Flags international aspects of Alpha Male 2.0. And that is over at calebjones.com/podcast. And I host that on all the usual podcast platforms. That comes out once a week, just like this one. By the way, I have a third podcast, keep forgetting, called Unchained Business. And that's a podcast I do with Billy, who works on my team, where we talk about pure business stuff. And if you go to, where can you find that? If you go to my Sovereign CEO YouTube channel, you'll find that there. And there's some links there. You can get to the actual podcast. Okay, so this is now part 3. Never done this before. Part 3 to a series of podcasts that I have been doing. This is probably going to be the final one in the series. Maybe we'll see how this goes, where I talk about my initial dating experiences right after my divorce as a beta male way back in 2007, when I'm brand new, don't know what the hell I'm doing, but getting some success, a little success. And so in the last podcast, I talked about how I'm still dating casually, this woman who I used to work with, this blonde chick with big boobies. Still seeing her on a regular basis, going on lots and lots of first dates, second dates, third dates, and fourth dates with women who are attractive, women between the age of about 25 and 45. No super younger women yet, that comes later. And I'm getting success with scheduling dates. First dates, second dates, third dates, fourth dates. So clearly women like me, and they like me enough to keep dating me, but I'm not having a lot of sex, not having a lot of sexual success. And I'm running into a bunch of scenarios such as ASD for over 33 women, which I didn't know was a thing back then. I didn't know that when you hit 33, ASD spikes and it gets harder to first-time sex with women over the age 33. Women under 33, generally speaking, get to sex much more quickly than women over 33 because of the rising ASD women have. I didn't know any of this. So I'm just kind of bewildered as to what's going on. I'm running into a bunch of gold diggers, women who are attractive and have higher incomes but still want to marry guys or have boyfriends who give them lots of expensive gifts and shit, which was confusing to me, and various other problems. In addition to the fact that I don't have a system down, I'm just winging this. I'm taking women out to bars. I'm taking women out to dinner. My God, don't take women out to dinner until you've had sex with them at least twice. I'm doing everything wrong. I'm kissing women at the wrong times. I'm just, I'm amazed that I was able to get that number of dates back then doing those things wrong. But the reason this worked is because, number one, I was putting in the numbers. I was cranking the fucking numbers. I'm on the dating sites back then every day. Every day I'm sending openers. Every day I'm communicating over text with my little BlackBerry back in 2007, scheduling dates, scheduling third dates, logistics, all that stuff. I'm just constantly hitting this really hard because I was still seeing that one woman, but it wasn't enough. I wanted to see, and this was my goal. I mentioned this in part 1 of this podcast series. I wanted to have 3 women I was having sex with who knew I was having sex with other women and kept seeing me anyway. I did not hit that goal for another year or 2 after this, but that was my goal. So I had a specific goal. I was starting to kind of pay attention to what was working, what didn't. I wasn't really tracking my success very well, a little bit, but not like I really started to, starting in 2008. So it's basically kind of a hodgepodge mess. And so finally, I start getting some success. And these 2 women happen around the same time. Let's cover the first one first. The first one was a woman that I actually worked with. Now, as I mentioned in the first part of this podcast series, part 1, I have a hard and fast rule. I don't have sex with women I work with. I don't. But this woman was working at a certain client company I was working with. She was the prettiest girl in this company of like 80 people. At least 2 other guys, both of whom were married, tried to fuck her and failed because I'm part of the office. I'm in the office enough to know all the office gossip and things like that. Again, welcome to monogamy. Married guys trying to bang chicks at work. Great. So this woman, what should I call her? I will call her Jessie. That is not her name, not even close. This is a make-up name. Jessie was like 2 years older than me. I want to say I was 36 at the time, so she was 38. Very trim, very fit, not blonde. She looked like a young Susan Sarandon. That's the closest I could compare. Very big, pretty eyes, really cute, tight little body. Oh my God. She did have one son who I think was grown because she had him when she was very young. She was a hardcore Christian. And later I found out she had not had sex with anyone since her divorce, which was 6 years ago. And I actually verified that. I will discuss how. So we start talking and we start flirting a little bit. And I don't remember the details of what was said, but it's apparent we want to see each other. But I have this rule about how I don't see people I work with. And I told her this. And she goes, oh, don't worry, I'm quitting in a month. I said, really? She goes, yeah, I'm quitting in a month. I'm out of here. I'm going to go blah, blah, blah. I forget what the details were. I said, oh, well, okay, I guess I can bend the rules. So I ask her out. We go out. I don't remember what our first date was. I don't remember. Boy, what was the first time I saw her? I don't remember. But I liked her. She was really sweet. Very big Christian Jesus person. And okay, fine. I was raised Catholic. I went to a Catholic school for 8 years. My mom was a nun. My wife, who I just divorced at this time, was a Catholic. I'm very well versed in this world. Pink Firefly is a Christian. I mean, less and less as time goes on, but she is. So there you go. So I'm like, all right, I'll deal with this. She's hot. She's fun. We got along great. We went out. We did not have sex. I didn't try because I knew if I tried too quickly, I'd get a bunch of bullshit. She was 38, so well over 33. But again, I didn't know that cutoff yet. So we went out. Again, we went to dinner at a fancy sushi place, and she got all dressed up. She was very excited to go to dinner with me, and that was good. We would kiss, and she was very nervous about kissing, but we did it. The third date, this was the third or fourth date. Again, I didn't track this stuff, so I don't remember. I want to say this is the third date. And we just walk around. There's this really pretty little, in that town I lived in with my shitty apartment, there's this really pretty man-made reservoir. It's like this lake, and you walk around, there's restaurants and stuff. And we just walk around the lake at night. And she wore this really cute little dress. And at the end, I said, come back to my apartment with me. She's like, oh, I don't know. I said, no, let's just come back to my apartment. And, don't worry. I trust you. You trust me. Something like that. I don't remember what I said. And she goes, okay. So we go back to my place and we're talking. And I remember now waiting too long to make a move from the first part of this podcast. So I remember that. So I've learned my lesson now. I'm not going to sit there and talk for 3 hours until she gets bored waiting for me to make a move. And again, the ASD, I didn't have that term back then, but her resistance to sex was very strong because now I knew she was divorced. She had not had sex with anyone in 6 years since her marriage, and her husband was the only man she'd ever had sex with. Okay, so holy shit. So if I have sex with this woman, I'm the second woman in her whole life, even though she's almost 40. Crazy. So finally I make a move. And you could see like this look in her eyes, this look of fear and excitement at the same time in her eyes. I could just see this in her eyes. And she says, okay. And she literally, without me doing a thing, I was shocked. I was so happy. She, in one movement, she just pulls off her dress. She's not wearing any underwear. What? Oh no, she was wearing panties, but no bra, okay? She just pulls off her dress and she's standing there naked in front of me. I'm like, holy shit. So I don't waste any time. I pick her up, take her to the bedroom, go to the mattress. I remember I have no bed, it's just a mattress in the bedroom, and we have sex. And it's amazing. And I did not have the problem where I couldn't get it up the first time I had sex with other women because I was already having sex now. My brain was reconnected to that world. So I'm doing just great. I have to be very careful. She bled during sex like a virgin, like bled a bunch. And so she was telling the truth. She hadn't had sex in a very long time. So I had to use a lot of lube and I had to be very careful. And she goes, I said, do you want me to go slower? She said, yes. I said, it's hard to go slow, but I will. And she goes, okay, then don't go slow. Go. Just do it. Do as fast as you want. I said, are you sure? She goes, yes. I'm like, okay. Now today I would say, no, I'll go slow. But I was so excited back then and not very calibrated. I went ahead and went fast and it hurt her a little bit. And here's the other beauty of this. She had her tubes tied so she could not get pregnant. So guess what? This is with no condom, fully inside. Okay. This is all the good stuff. And this is the first time I had orgasmed inside a woman without a condom in I don't know how long, 10 years? Because in my marriage, our form of birth control was condoms. So what I did in my first marriage was we'd have sex with a condom. At the end, when I'm getting ready, I would pull out, put the condom on, and then go back in and then finish. So it had been, I don't know how many years it had been since I actually orgasmed inside without a condom. And you know how good that is. And I did that. And I'm like, oh, this is so great. And we finish and she gets kind of cuddly and I cuddle with her. She's great. And I start seeing her. So now this is my second woman. So now I start seeing her on a regular basis. And she, like many hardcore Christian women, she is an absolute fucking horn dog. She wants to have sex all the goddamn time. I'm like, hallelujah. This is the perfect woman. So she actually, this is hilarious. She lived in a trailer park. Now, not a literal trailer park. She lived in this very fancy, not a mobile home, but an actual trailer. But it's a big fancy one. And I said, why do you live in a trailer? She goes, I just prefer it. I like it. And I like being around other people because I'm a single woman and whatever. So I'm over there all the time and we're having sex. When we have sex, two times in an evening, sometimes even 3 times in an evening. And then later she tells me, oh my God, you could have sex twice in a row, 3 times in a row. You're like the man of my dreams. I'm like, you're the woman. I didn't say this. You're the woman of my dreams. This is all good. So I start seeing her a lot. Now, here's the problem. We never had the talk because again, I don't have these systems in place. I don't have the talk and the EFA. I don't know any of this stuff. So I'm still seeing this other woman. But the second woman, Jessie, doesn't know. And I'm like, at some point, I'm going to have to tell her. I can't lie to this woman. I can't lead her on. I knew that much, but I didn't know how to do it. So I started seeing her a lot. And eventually, she talks about how she wants to get married. She wants to marry me, of course, Christian, okay? And I tell her about my thing about how I want to be free and how I want to see other people. And it'll just be sex, and I'll wear condoms, okay? And so, she doesn't like it, but she goes, okay, let me think about that. I understand, so let me think about that. And then finally she comes back and she says, this is not the talk, okay? Please don't do this. But she goes, okay, as long as you use condoms. And she actually brings me a box of condoms and gives them to me. You need to use condoms if you're with other women, okay? I said, okay, awesome. So this worked. Did it work? No, it didn't. I had sex with a third woman. And then I came back and told her, I didn't give her details. She said, were you with someone else? I said, yes, I was. And I'll talk about that third woman in a second. And she starts crying. And I left her. She was still crying. I mean, I did the best I could, hugged her and everything. Later, the day later, she came over to my apartment and brought me some wine, even though I don't drink, as a gift, as a parting gift. She goes, I love you. You're wonderful. Here's a gift. I can't be with you. I can't do this. My Christian values, blah, 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 blah. And so I can't do this, but it's nothing wrong with you. I think you're wonderful. And she was just a sweetheart, fantastic person. Even to this day, occasionally I still think back about her. She's great. And so we part as friends. We remained friends for a long time. Eventually lost touch with her. So that was her. So then around the same time, I go on another first date with another cute blonde girl. This is the same exact bar restaurant I used when I met the Smoking Hot Perfect 10 that I talked about in the last podcast. And this woman is 31, so a little under age 33, but I didn't know that back then. 31. She's very short, so she's not quite as gorgeous. She wasn't a 10. She's probably an 8, maybe even a 7. But she's short, which is my thing. She's got blonde hair, my thing, and she's got a huge ass. Her ass is gigantic. So little teeny tiny body, huge ass. That is my favorite thing. So I'm like, okay, awesome. And we start talking and we immediately hit it off. More than most of the other women I had met. And we talked for about 3 or 4 hours into the evening, into like 11 o'clock at night. Don't do that on first dates. That is incorrect. That is not good technique, but we did that. And we left, met up again one more time where we just kind of went on a walk. I don't remember what we did. We went on a walk or something. See, this is the thing about dates. You just go for a walk. Then we went a third time and we went to IKEA. Literally, this is our date. We went to IKEA because I had to buy something at IKEA, she did too. And so let's go to IKEA. So we both walk around IKEA and that was the date. And then it's at nighttime, we go out to my car. We're back in my car. I think we took one car. I forget. Or we're just sitting in my car. I don't remember why we're sitting in my car. And I kiss her for the first time. And I start making out like crazy with her. And it's awesome. And she kisses perfect. And I'm like, this is awesome. And I said, let's get in the back seat. She goes, okay. So we get in the back seat. And I'm all over her. I'm going crazy. This is good. And finally I say, now here's the thing. I lived nowhere near there and she didn't live anywhere near there either. Oh no, I was going to leave for Las Vegas for a weekend right before this. So I had to go back to the airport. We were near the airport. And I said, there's a hotel right there. Let's go. And she just kind of looks at me. I said, it's okay. I don't remember the exact words, but it's something like, I look at her, I look into her eyes, I say, it's okay. It's all right. Let's go. And I could see the conflict, but she's under 33. She's 31. So I see the conflict, I'm like, and she goes, okay, cool. So I said, so she had to follow me in her car. So the whole time, it was only like a 6-minute drive. She has to follow me in her car. And I'm hoping, please don't just veer off. Please don't just suddenly change your mind and go home. So I'm watching her in the rearview mirror the whole time. Please follow me. Get all the way to the hotel. Once we're in the room, we're good. But just fight your ASD, sweetheart. Just fight it. You can do it. Get in the hotel. She actually follows me to the hotel. We both get out, rent a room, go to the room, and we have sex. And it's fucking great. Every bit as good as with Jessie. It's awesome. Very different body. Then she's little and she's got the big ass. And it was wonderful. I did use a condom on her because she was not, she didn't have tubes tied or that stuff. But whatever, it's great. And we start seeing each other. And we start seeing each other regularly. And this was the woman where, so then the next morning I went to Vegas just for the weekend, didn't have sex in Vegas, came back, saw Jessie, and that's when she said, did you see someone in Vegas? And I said, well, I didn't see someone in Vegas, but I did see someone, yes. And that's when she cried and she stopped seeing me. So I'm like, well, shit. So for a brief moment in time, I had 3 women. I believe this was the first time where in a matter of a week, I had sex with 3 different women. I had sex with the first woman, sex with Jessie, and sex with this new one. I believe that's right. But I didn't track it, so I don't remember. So I'm like, oh gosh. When I'm in Vegas, I am on cloud 9. I'm thinking, well, I have 3 women now. This is great. Oh my God. And then the 3 women, as soon as I get back from Vegas, turns into 2 women because Jessie leaves. Okay. All right. The new woman I will call Jennifer. I start seeing her. And I still go on dates and things like that. And the first woman eventually just kind of floats away. She just kind of stops seeing me. No conflict or anything. She just stops seeing me. And sometimes women just float away. I went, whatever. I was going on plenty of for other dates. I was still seeing Jennifer. Long story short, Jennifer and I start to get pretty serious. She was the first serious relationship I had that was many months at that time. Reasonably serious, at least for me at the time. It doesn't work out. Years later, Jennifer comes back because 94% come back. And that's a whole different story in and of itself. And by the time we're hitting this, I'm randomly seeing other women kind of by the end of 2007. And then 2008 is where I start getting really good. So for 2007, that's 2007 in a nutshell. There's more stories and things like that, but that's in a nutshell. That was my experience. My first, 8-9 months out of my divorce. It was a very exciting time, frustrating time, difficult time, confusing time, stressful time in some respects as I was going through a divorce. Oh, by the way, the economy starts to waver. This 2007, 2008 is right around the corner. Okay, so I have other problems, but it was also very exciting because I'm experiencing all these new things the first time. These super attractive women, the amazing sex. And again, when you're in a traditional long-term monogamous marriage for years, are you having amazing sex? No. So I'm having all this amazing sex with these amazingly hot, smoking hot, cute girls. And it's a good time. And this was the year that it opened up my brain, my subconscious to the possibilities of what I could do in the future. So this was the springboard for me into Black Dragon dumb, Alpha Male 2.0 dumb within the next few years. So in terms of my goal, I hit that goal by mid-2008. So within 6 months, quick summary of 2008, and then I'll wrap this podcast up. 2008 was the year I started dating much younger women. I said, well, maybe could I date an 18-year-old? I don't know, let's try that. And I was able to. And by the end of 2008, mid-2008, I'm dating like 3 or 4 women on rotation. They all know I'm seeing other women. They stick with me anyway. I start developing or copying the systems from the PUA world of FBs and MLTRs and have the OLTR term there and start just refining the system and things like that. So that's it. That's my story from divorced beta male dad in the February 2007 to moderate success limited, wimpy, moderate success by the mid to late 2007, and that's it. So if you want, as always, give me more suggestions for the stories you want to hear about in this podcast, and I am at your service, whatever you guys like, as long as I can tell them. These stories are old enough now where I can tell them. There are some stories that are more recent that I can't tell, but you get my point. Cool. All right. See you in the next podcast or video. Have fun. Bye.